Bass Rock, that noble bastion of the Lothians, guarding the Firth of Forth 2 miles offshore from North Berwick. Men have set a lighthouse on it to warn sailors of these beetling cliffs, the home of the gannet or solan goose. The lighthouse keeper scans the horizon and sniffs the bracing east coast air. It's time for the visit of the little mail vessel from North Berwick. She carries the letters and such supplies as the two keepers always on duty may need. And now she makes a cautious approach to one of the only 2 points where you can land on the Bass. St. Baldred set foot here 1,000 years ago, the hermit who is the first recorded inhabitant of this stark rock. There's time for all the North Berwick news as the boxes go ashore. It's not only the letters and groceries that the little vessel brings, but also the human contact so welcome to the solitary. Near the lighthouse is this old prison where the Covenanters suffered. Eastward of North Berwick, and looking to the Bass, another noble bastion, Tantallon Castle. To ding down high Tantallon and build a bridge to the Bass was an old Scots description of the impossible. And round 3 sides the ocean flows, the Forth did battered walls enclose. Broad, massive, high, and stretching far, held impregnable in war. Here was square keep, there turret high, a pinnacle that sought the sky. So Scott in Marmion describes this old home of the Douglas family. And always, in the background, like a sentinel, the Bass. Into North Berwick every summer pour the visitors. This carload of youngsters has come from the other Berwick, 40 miles to the south over the English border. North Berwick's a place you get to know and like to return to. Well, maybe not this part. This is one spot they never leave. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote a lot of Treasure Island here. They say a scene like this gave him a hint for the Admiral Benbow Inn. So, where holidaymakers hum the tunes of today, there's the echo of an older song. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum, drink and the devil have done for the rest. But only an echo that fades as the motor coaches drive in. The diesel train arrives from Edinburgh, 20 miles away. They're all in search of the sea, our friends from the other Berwick among them, driving through the narrow streets where, 100 years ago, Stevenson was studying the old fishermen, seeing in them sailors and pirates of the Spanish Main. What would he see in these swarms of holidaymakers today? Gaiety, perhaps, and escape from the daily round at desk or factory bench. They have all one objective in mind, for the sun is shining, and on the beach the golden sands are calling. Some of us don't like beach photographers. We'd rather have an ice cream cone at any day. North Berwick has one of the driest and sunniest climates in the whole of Britain. Under its brilliant skies, young families amuse themselves, having fun on the fringe of the sea and acquiring a Mediterranean tan. The sands are ideal for making sand pies, even if there is a bit of rivalry between the sexes. If you feel like a snooze, well, where could you enjoy the music of a more sonorous lullaby? North Berwick boasts of a swimming pool that any resort might envy. Fresh North Sea water heated to remove the chill. A beautiful spot set between the lovely east and west bays. It's a natural rendezvous. I believe lots of boys come here too. There are other sights to see. fun on the trampoline. Or it might be a swimming gala. Or a touch of aquatic comedy with North Berwick's own monster. And at the Pavillion, there are the concert parties and the comics, like dear old Dave Willis pointing way up a kye. So, home again from the beach, for a brush-up, a change, a meal, and of course, to write those picture postcards. Having a wonderful time, weather glorious, wish you were here. Let's have no joking about golf. We take that seriously at North Berwick. Now that's something like a drive. This coast is famous for its first-class courses. There are at least 10 of them. And North Berwick is one of the best, regularly used for championships like the Scottish Boys' Championship. We're on the last green. Men have been golfing at North Berwick for centuries. That's Point Garry, with the town a mere clachan in the background. Leisurely games, when the players used to sip wine after every hole. Far-off days, when golf was a sport of country gentlemen. Notables, like this old gentleman, came here for a daily round or two. And later, such as A.J. Balfour, the British Prime Minister, who never missed a September between 1891 and 1914, but may have missed a putt or two. Here are some of the clubs they used in times gone by. How different from the splendid woods and irons that have been spreading the fame of North Berwick among golfers the world over for 100 years. Hand-forged, like this on the anvil. Accurately balanced so that the set will match. How on earth do we contrive to miss? Balance. You'll find it too down at the old harbour. In these rods the laddies hold patiently over the water. No, that's the bait, not the catch. And here, not far from these amateurs, is the true professional, the lobster fisherman, preparing his creel before his own little gallery of spectators. North Berwick's also the headquarters of the East Lothian Yacht Club. The tidal harbour won't accommodate keeled vessels, so the racing is in dinghies, the featherweights of the yachting world. Now the regatta is well underway. See them tack and heel in the stiff breeze, weaving a course between the shore and the offshore islands of Fidra, the Lamb, Craigleith, and the Isle of May. Once North Berwick exported the potatoes and grain of the rich East Lothian farms. Now the yachtsmen have the waters all to themselves. As the breezes fill the sails, the Bass Rock looks on, a stately patron of the exercise. Above the little town rises the steep volcanic cone of the Law. That's just our lowland Scots word for hill. It's an easy enough climb, though it may leave you puffing, a sharp 600 feet. The jawbones of a whale recall the days of the old Scottish whaling fleets. That's Craigleith Island framed between them. From the summit there are wonderful views. To the northwest, the Highland Hills, or to the south, the long sweep of the Lammer Moors, splendid country for walking. Then, at your feet, the town, the islands. But no matter where you are, what you may be doing, there stands the Bass Rock, with the sea breaking white against the cliffs, even on the calmest day. There's one pilgrimage every holidaymaker in North Berwick wants to undertake, to sail round the Bass Rock and have a closer look at its gannet colony. Our little party in the sports car are making for the harbour. There they join the throng in the quay. Many are making the trip themselves, others have come to watch the departure. Is it a good day for a sail? Yes, you won't find a better, so we'll risk it. Let's get aboard. Now the pleasure launch has cast off from the quay and passes neatly through the narrow channel between the piers. We're setting out for the kingdom of the gannets, the largest seabirds which nest in the British Isles. This vast cavern passes right through the Bass. It's possible to wade through at low water. The air is full of the cries of the gannet and the equally raucous voices of their fellow residents, the kittiwakes, shags and fulmars, and the gentler call of the little kittiwakes, the smallest gulls. The shyest are the puffins, or taminoris, as they used to be called locally. And then the statuesque poses of the shags, or green cormorants. They're surface fishermen, unlike the gannets, which plunge like bullets from a great height. A sail round the Bass is the best way to see the birds. But they don't always approve. This shag's saying, "Keep off my rock." But the shags are far outnumbered by the gannets, which possess the upper heights. The gannet is first mentioned as an inhabitant of the Bass 500 years ago, and next to St. Kilda, it's their biggest settlement. On the wing, they're fascinating birds to watch, able to ride the air currents for hours on end without effort or more than the tiniest steering movements. Wonderful natural gliders. On the Bass, they're born. Every year they migrate, the younger birds to the Bay of Biscay, the older to the English Channel. Then, in their 5th year, they nest here on the Bass, each pair occupying one site and never landing on another. Nearly 5,000 pairs breed here every season. In their thousands, they crowd the sky and rest in serried ranks on the cliffs. Of all the sights of North Berwick, none is more wonderful than the Bass Rock and its gannet empire.